Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. Today guys, I'll be checking out this interesting video from Candace Owens podcast, and it's titled, Does Matt Walsh Have Too Many Kids? You guys, I'm excited for this. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please consider subscribing. Give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And without much ado, let's see what this video is all about.
I saw this clip that was circulating on the internet, and often on my show, I talk about just the sort of human beings that we are putting in society, how we're raising kids in the home, the coddle culture that we seem to have. And I was really struck by this clip and somewhat alarmed by a lot of the comments that followed it. But it is a woman, Brianna, last name Lapaglia, and Grace O'Malley on the Plan Brie, haha, clever, Uncut podcast. And they were discussing how many kids people should or should not have. And here is the clip.
We're talking about the same thing weirdly, how fucking crazy it is to raise so many kids, because we were all asking each other how many kids we want, and I was like 10, and they were like, dude, are you crazy?
Yes.
And
you know what? And you're selfish, because not a single one of those kids is going to feel loved enough than the other.
Oh, dude, yes, they would.
Nope.
Maybe
Four
not in your
is
house.
the max where, no.
I got too much love to
cannot nope. You can't give equal love to 10 kids. There's no shot.
That's pretty pessimistic.
Well, it's the truth.
So you cannot give equal love if you have more than 4 children. She deems that to be incredibly selfish. And again, you have 6 children. So explain to us which ones you love more, or tell us why you think she's wrong.
Well, yeah, she's right. You know, you have, it's just basic math. You have like 100% of love, and then you have to divide it between all the kids. And so I guess the idea is if you have up to 4, then at least each kid gets 25% of your love. I mean, it's like I'm joking, but that is actually how they see it. They can't, first of all, these are people who don't understand even what love is. They don't know what they're talking about. And also they think of everything in terms of commodities. And, you know, even though a lot of these people pretend to be socialists, they have this very kind of like mercenary view of everything. And they look at children as commodities and say, well, you can only have so many. And then after that, it's too many. When in fact, you know, love is when you actually have any parent who has more than one kid knows that this is not a dilemma. You don't have to choose between them.
That's true.
You are giving of yourself totally and completely as a parent, and whether you have 1 kid or 4 kids or 6 kids. And that's also why I always find it funny, this claim that having, you know, too many kids is selfish. Now, it is true that you can have a lot of kids and still be a selfish person. So there's nothing about becoming a parent that makes you not selfish. But if you are actually investing yourself in parenthood and you're taking it seriously, then it is a fundamentally selfless undertaking. And again, anyone with kids knows this, that kids are, what do kids do? They constantly need things all the time, you know, especially when they're younger. They are these, you know, little bundles of joy and love, but also of need and demands.
That's true.
And so you're constantly giving of yourself. So it is if you're doing it right, it's pretty much the least selfish thing you can do. And also on top of that, we as parents, and those of us with more parents is even more so the case, we are the ones who are doing a little thing known as ensuring the future of the human species. So when it comes to like making sure that we have a future as a civilization, we as parents are doing all of that work. And then these people that sit back with no kids, you know, casting their judgment, they're doing nothing at all.
Yeah.
And so we're carrying the entire weight on our shoulders.
That's true.
Which is absolutely true. And
You guys, what are your thoughts on what Matt Walsh said in this video? And what is the ideal number of kids one should have? Do you think that if one should have more than 4 kids, the person is being selfish because they can't love every of their kid equally? My thought is, if you are financially okay to take care of 6, 7 children, why don't you go for it? Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below, and Leave your thoughts down there and let's continue watching, you guys.
I was really struck, by the way, by the comments under this section. Now, some people disagreed, obviously, and were saying exactly what you're saying. And you do know this as a parent. You can't even explain it. Like, you have one child and you're like, how could I possibly love it? And then you have two. You're like, how could I and then it just keeps going. There's no bottom to the amount of love that you can give children. But people that were in the comment section that were one of 5 children were saying, I totally agree with this. You know, when I was coming up in this household, I had to watch my sister. I had to babysit my sibling. And essentially what they were saying, and I'll give you this person as just one example, the Huntswoman writes, real talk. I grew up a Mormon in an area where 5 kids was average, and there were a lot of 8 to 10 kid families. The problem with having 10 kids is this. There are only so many hours in a day, and the oldest kids, especially the girls, will act as parents to the youngest kids. I saw this cycle play out in a bunch of families. The youngest and oldest children had vastly different childhood experiences and levels of parental attention. This just made me laugh, and it made me laugh because it made me, I guess, understand even more why we are producing such little narcissists and brats in society. The idea that a child should have no responsibilities, to me, is what's more astounding. They think that a child's, basically what they're offering is that if you have one child, you can pour an unimaginable amount of attention into them, and this person will have no responsibilities. Mommy and daddy will be able to take care of absolutely everything, and then you can release them into the world to become what? Non-productive citizens. And when I was growing up, I'm one of 4. I had responsibilities. Yes, I took care of my younger siblings. I took care of my younger cousins. This was something that I didn't really view as disrupting my childhood. I kind of viewed it as you get older and you can take on more responsibilities in a household, you should.
Exactly, you should.
Yeah, I think what I said at the beginning, that these people don't really understand what love is. That this is kind of what I'm talking about. That they think that that there's somehow some kind of conflict between love and responsibility. And so if you're being given responsibility, then you're not being loved, which that's not just wrong. It couldn't be farther from the truth. It's like the exact opposite of what is the reality. When love and responsibility go hand in hand. In fact, part of loving your child is to give them responsibilities, is to help them become not just productive members of society, which ultimately they will be, hopefully, but just to help them become better people, which is better for them. And so it's true that when you have a lot of kids, then naturally the kids, it's more responsibility for you as a parent. It also ends up being more responsibility for the kids as well. I'm one of 6 myself. I have 6, so I know this. But that's a feature, not a bug. This is one of the advantages of having a lot of kids, is that it gives your kids the opportunity to help around the house. They're not becoming parents, but they are to some extent taking on the responsibility and the role of caring for their younger siblings. This is a great benefit for them. I think one of the there are a lot of disadvantages of only having like one kid. And one of the disadvantages, I think, is that now, because it's only one kid and hopefully there are 2 parents, now you really have to be very careful about sort of manufacturing opportunities for your single child, to have responsibilities. And I think a lot of parents of only one kid don't manufacture those.
Wow, you guys, I love what Matt Walsh and Candace Owens are saying in this video about the older kids helping their parents to look after the younger ones, especially when their parents are occupied with other activities. That child can obviously look after his or her baby sibling that is way younger than them. And there's nothing bad in doing that as an older sibling. It doesn't alter the course of their life or anything, but instead it gives them a good advantage over the other kids who haven't done something like this. Let me know what you guys think about this video so far, and let's wrap this video up.
Those opportunities, and so they end up with a really spoiled kid. But when you have a lot of kids, you don't really have to manufacture it. It naturally comes with the life that you're living, that they're going to take on responsibilities, and hopefully that will help them become less selfish people. And it's true that, kids need attention from parents. They want a lot of attention, and you need to give them your attention, but it is definitely possible to give a kid too much attention.
Absolutely.
And that's another problem. When you only have one kid, the risk that they receive way too much attention is very high.
just going from, I mean, now I'm at 3, but from 1 to 2, one of the biggest things that we're working on with my son, who is 2, is because he had this 18 months of just being by himself, where actually every toy in the playroom was his. He struggles with sharing. And it's something that we're working on every single day. We have to put him in timeout to understand that when his little sister grabs a toy, he takes from her and he says, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. We didn't even tell him everything was his. It just happened to be the circumstance that it was all his for 18 months. And so just by having a second sibling, we know that he is now going to become a better person, because it's not, I tell him a million times a day, it's not all about you, bud. You got to learn to share. These are good values to instill in an individual. And I think that right now, the mentality that she is sharing is that children should be coddled. Children should have no responsibilities. And this is exactly the reason that when I show up to a college campus and I wonder, who raised these children, right? They're brats. I mean, this is what's happening. They're absolute brats. It is this exact mentality that is coming down the pipeline, where it's like, it needs to be all about you. You are wonderful. You should never have to share, and you should have no responsibilities until maybe you're 25 and get a job and you can't figure out why you can't make any money, because you have no concept of what responsibility even is.
Yeah, and the other thing too, I mentioned just from a practical perspective, is that it is true that it's important for kids to have, first of all, again, attention from their parents. You want them to have individual one-on-one attention from their parents, as much as, to the extent that that's possible. You want them to have some time to themselves as well, so they can be their own person. So you want all those things for your kid, but when you have a lot of kids, I know this, of course, from experience, that it's not that difficult to create those kinds of environments and to make sure that your kids have that as well. I mean, I'll do things like, on the weekend, if I have to run an errand really quickly, I'll just choose one of the kids and I'll bring them with me, so that we can have at least a few moments of kind of one-on-one bonding times. You just look for little opportunities like that. But the problem is, if you don't have a lot of kids, you only have one kid, there are things that your kid needs that it's going to be harder to create those opportunities. Like I said, one of them is responsibility. The other is also bond. It's when your kid has siblings, now they have a bond with those siblings, and that's important for them to have as well. And it's just, there are challenges with having a lot of kids, but I tend to think that there are many more and more significant challenges when you don't.
Hey guys, if you like this video, you will definitely like the full episode even better. You can find it by clicking right here.
Wow, you guys, that was such an interesting one from Candace Owens and Matt Walsh. Let me know your thoughts on this particular topic. Is having more than 4 kids selfish, or it's totally ideal to have as much as you can take care of? Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. And I really had fun reacting to this video. If you guys totally enjoyed watching, give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.